At the very least, we get the ball up pitch, provided we can get the throw off, which we do. And it's a good catch.
How did you make that?
He's gonna try to screen out. Screen out the 20. Screen out the Whitey Beavers. Oh no! Does he have an apothecary? I don't think he has one. He's gonna spend it, and he's still dead. Oh my god! Oh no! Deccan's stare bag is dead! Dead! It's another cake! Oh my goodness! What is happening? See if he can get away. He cannot. He's gonna have to do this. Oh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Snuffle, News Team 6, and Santa Swarm all advancing to the semi-finals, but tonight it's going to be the Circuit City Cadavers at Berserk Circus. Both coaches in their final game of the game, they're playing for posterity. The lineups. First up, we have Berserk Circus, coached by Dead Fred. He's got a TV of 1350. Coming into this with, wow, 14 men on the lineup. Not the least of which is number 10, the league favorite himself, Pips Pippy. He's off the DL. He's back into this game. He's picked up a block. He has block. He has dodge. He's going to be a lot tougher to take down on the pitch. SPB demands death. Six strength of he has a mighty blow. Of course, he's and means hours tonight. Massive strength of 5. You know, he could be putting the hurt on, especially as both teams have an AV of 7. Hippolyte, the Amazon Blitzer, along with Pips himself, have block and have dodge. Block and dodge means only one on the die that these players will be afraid of when being blocked. Berserker, of course, has the frenzy skill. He's level 2. He picked up Mighty Blow. But all Edgar Berger, the number 5 Norse lineman, he is the kicker. Here's the Amazon Blitzer with block and dodge. Wow. That is up against... There we go. Sorry for the mic troubles. My button's not working. I'm gonna have to use a different button. Anyway, 1350 TV against Berserk Circus. They will be up against the Circuit City Cadavers tonight. The Cadavers, 1250, but they have... Well, there it is right there. They had a level up to take. They took it. The TVs will be tied going into this game. The Cadavers also have a full roster with 11 men, but not as many skills. You see 2 undead ghouls. They, of course, have the dodge skill. 2 flesh golems. 1 has leveled up and picked up block. Flesh golems also have stand firm. A key player on this lineup is Lassie, the level 3 werewolf with claws, frenzy, block, and is that leap? I believe it is. He picked up leap on his level 3 level up. Jenny Craig, the thrower, picked up the kicker skill. We've talked about this before. I think that's a good pickup for a Khemri thrower. Not much else you're going to do with the Khemri thrower, especially in a mixed team competition. The Tomb Guardian here with that massive strength of 5 picked up Mighty Blow on the level up. And then, of course, there is Disco Dan Van Dusseldorf, the vampire himself. He will be supported by 3 vampire thralls. One of these vampire thralls picked up Fend as well. Fend allows the thrall to keep his distance on blocks. He'll get blocked down, but people won't be able to follow up on him. 3 TRRs, 5 cheerleaders, 8 fan factor, 1 coach assistant, and of course the necromancer, because the Cadavers cannot bring an apothecary. How are these Clefia says, what did Nick Satan use his money on? It looks like he dropped it all into cheerleaders. He had 140k in the bank. He might have picked up, maybe it wasn't cheerleaders. Maybe he picked up a TRR. I'm not sure. But how do the Cadavers face off against Berserk Circus tonight? Well, I think Berserk Circus needs to leverage all this block on their lineup and take the hits to try to get the player advantage early against the Cadavers. The Cadavers have a number of AV7. There's a lot of AV7 on this pitch tonight for both players. I think the Cadavers, on the other hand, have to play a little more nuanced. They have to take the skills that they do have and try to open up holes on offense, or maybe try to surf players. They do have the werewolf with frenzy. Frenzy gets them 2 blocks in a row if the first one doesn't knock down the player. That frenzy, the werewolf, the frenzy player, is leveled up. Has, you know, block goes a long way. Claws do as well. I also think we might see more use of hypnotic gaze with the vampire. Hypnotic gaze basically puts an opponent in a trance. They can't do anything until their next turn. So new players might say, well, what does that matter? Who cares if he can't do something until his next turn? Once it's his turn, he can do something. Well, that means that he can't be in position to, say, catch or throw prior to moving. And so the Cadavers can use the vampire and his hypnotic gaze to really lock down players, control the tempo, control movement on the pitch tonight. And if he can do that effectively, I think he comes away with the win. I think Berserk Circus, I think they got to play a bashy game tonight. So it looks like both coaches might be ready to go. We'll see if they are, and we'll get this game underway. The final game for both coaches in this competition. And it looks like they are indeed ready. The Circus City Cadavers, coached by Nick Satan. Nick Satan, the Season 1 League Champion. Rumor has it he will be playing Lizardmen in Season 2, and it's a rainy day. Rainy day for this final game for both coaches. Berserk Circus setting up on defense. They have a 3-man line. You can see massive strength on their defensive line. The strength 5 Tame Bear, supported by the 2 Sauruses here with the strength of 4. The Cadavers, in turn, are going with a 5-man line. Do my eyes deceive me? Is the vampire going to be playing the center position? if you are new to Blood Bowl, pouring rain makes the ball slippery. It's a -1 modifier for catches, for interceptions, and even for pickups off the ground. You can see Berserk Circus kicker is in the correct position. He will be able to kick. That means the Cadavers are probably going to keep 2 back to receive. And the Vampire is going to go off to the right into the tackle position instead of center. Angelsoft, the level 2 Tomb Guardian, he will take the center position, and we're ready for the kickoff. Berserk Circus with a pretty good defensive formation here. He's got the 3-man line. Lots of strength on that line. He's not too afraid of taking hits, but just in case, he wants to keep the assists coming from either side with the two linebackers right behind the line. Perfect defense. Berserk Circus gets to reset their offensive line here, and they could pull these players up to the line if they want to go toe-to-toe. If they do so, Nick Satan probably only taking a 1, maybe 2 blocks. He'll get a 1-die block with the Tomb Guardian, and then he might take another block. We'll see what Berserk Circus decides to do. No, he's actually going to pull a Saurus off the line. He's going to pull right. Very interesting choice. So 2 defensive tackles pull to the right, 1 pulls off to the left. He's going to keep, he's going to open up center pitch, keeps it wide open for the Cadavers. Flyface asks, would this be an interesting enough event for Hank? He didn't seem happy with any of them. He wants nothing but sweltering heat. And I mean, who doesn't, really? Berserk Circus resetting their defense here. Hank the Ranger says, Pips, Pips, hooray! Pips Pippy, the man himself in the safety position for Berserk Circus. 30 seconds to reset this defense. Berserk Circus decides to go weak on the right wide zone. Toe-to-toe with that strength 4 flesh column, El Guapo the Sad. El Guapo's going to get a 2-die block. It's an unskilled block, however, against Odger Berger, the number 9 lineman for Berserk Circus. Berserk Circus ends up with a 4-man line. We'll see if this will work out for them. Decided not to kick it too deep, and now turn 1 begins for the Cadavers. The Cadavers end up taking the 1-die block. I'm sorry, the 2-die block results in a push in the right wide zone. The number 2 Ghoul, Brandon, he moves down the right wide zone as well, and now the Vampire takes a 2-die block, gets a push against the number 13 Saurus. He's going to push him over into the right wide zone, deciding whether to follow up or not. He does. In danger of eating 2 dice, coming back. 2-die block, back at center. This is going to be a clean hit. Tomb Guardian follows up. One-die block against the Saurus unless he wants to pull a player over for the assist. Cliffy says, I promise tonight I will barely make any puns about Professor Jefferson. Boo! Boo! 1:12 for the Cadavers. Cadavers with 3 TRRs. Cadavers with the fame advantage. They have the +1 fame advantage. They had a massive fan factor of 8 coming into this game. And there's the ball pickup. Failed pickup. He's going to spend the TRR. It's a 50-50. Spent the TRR. That's rainy weather for you. Spent the TRR. The TRR made that a 75% chance to pick up. It failed. That results in a turnover. And now, first turn for Berserk Circus on defense. Berserk Circus considering their defensive options here. And the Ranger says, it's possible the ball may be greased as well. Not enough data to determine that yet. It could be. Moves in the number 2 blitzer for an assist on the Flesh Golem. This will be a 2-die block against Jeff, the plain old human. Jeff, you're not a human, my friend. I'm sorry. You're just not. 2-die block over in the right wide zone. This is against the Vampire. It's going to be a clean hit. He has an AV of 8, a 9+, break armor.
Oh.
Vampire gets knocked down. Whenever you're knocked down in Blood Bowl, it costs 3 MA to stand up. That means the Vampire has lost half his movement for the next turn. Good block against the Thrall, but there's that Fend skill we talked about in the pregame. The Tame Bear will not be allowed to follow up. Number 7, Amazon Blitzer, Cassipi the Seducer. She is free to move. Blitz still on the table. "23 seconds left in turn 1. Berserk Circus considering where they want their defensive formation to be at the end of this turn and what blocks to take. They're going to take the 2-die block over in the left wide zone. Clean hit against the Flesh Golem, and they get an injury. Well done. One-man player advantage for Berserk Circus. There's that 2-die block. Took off a key player here, a strength 4 player. Well done. 1-die blitz coming up. That's going to be a push result against the number 10 Thrall. Frenzy follow-up. Excellent use of Frenzy. This will be a clean hit. 8+ takes the Thrall off the pitch. Well done by Berserk Circus. So you can see Berserk Circus took their Berserker, moved up to get the 2-die block, made sure they were in position for the Frenzy follow-up to get the 2-die block, and in doing so, followed up to get out of the tackle zone of Susan the Ghoul. Turn 2 coming up. The Cadavers need to consider how they want to move this ball forward. Are they going to cage up? I have to imagine they will. Are they going to threaten a pass? I have to imagine they won't, but anything could happen. 2-die block at center. A good hit against the number 8 lineman. Tank the Ranger says, can they pick the ball up? Who's to say? The number 11 Thrall with Fend. He stands up and gets right back into the fray over to the right-hand side of the line. The throw, he's going to move into the scrum as well. And here's the 2-die block with the Vampire. It's going to be a push result. Pushes the Bear off towards center pitch. Does not follow up. Because now he might want to take a 1-die block against the Saurus. He can make it a 2-die block if he shifts a player over for an assist. He's going to take the 2-die block over in the right wide zone, and he sets up for the surf against Odgar Berger, the number 5 Norse lineman. There's that assist to get the 2-die block on the number 13 Saurus. And this will be a good hit. Sauruses are resilient. They have an AV of 9. Hard to take off the pitch. And indeed, not going to happen here. The Cadavers trying to break apart this. Wow, another failed pickup. Spends the TRR again, and again a failed pickup, and now the Cadavers in a little bit of trouble. Rainy weather. They're down to one team reroll, and they don't have the ball, and now Berserk Circus can threaten the ball. Hank the Ranger says greased. 100% greased. The refs didn't see it. It didn't happen. Remember, Berserk Circus started in defense here in this half. If they can score, that will give them a huge advantage, seeing as they will be on offense in the second half. Lord AO says, it's just raining oil, I guess. You know, sometimes that happens. Two-day block results in a push in the left wide zone against the number 10 Thrall. Berserk Circus going after those low AV players. That's smart play. Two-die block back at the line. This will be a push as well. Now he's opened up a hole in the line. He can go after this ball with the GFI. I don't know if he wants to, but he could. Life says, can they get more than one player around the ball? The answer to that is now yes. Hank the Ranger says, the ground's having one heck of a game right now. The ground is one of the most resilient opponents in Blood Bowl. Two-die blitz. This could be a blitz to a ball pickup. This will be a good hit against the werewolf. Is he going to try to pick up the ball with his last MA? He is! Good pickup by Berserk Circus. Well done. There's that blitz. One MA left. Picks up the ball. Well done. When you blitz, it's basically a movement and a block all in one action. The block counts as an MA. And something a lot of new coaches forget is that after the blitz, you can continue using your MA. So if you have any movement allowance left, you can continue to move. Very good play by Dead Fred and Berserk Circus. And now they have picked up this ball. And the Cadavers are going to have to figure something out here to play some defense and try to get in front of this faux cage. Failed GFI. Berserk Circus going to spend the TRR. No TRRs remaining for Berserk Circus. They have a few players left to do something with. They're going to have to move the linemen if they want to prevent the surf. Probably will save that for last, however. Hank Ranger says needs to get that side lineman off the sideline. Pips Pippy. He moves forward from safety. Now trying to get into this cage, this focus. Two-die block by the Tame Bear, but he's going to take the trade. He is injured. Wow. Injured the kicker, and the kicker failed the regen. And now the Cadavers find themselves without a kicker. Cadavers are going to get a vengeance, surf here. Man, I couldn't get that out. And so they take a player off the pitch. Well done, but what are they going to do? Stand up the werewolf, take the two-die blitz, perhaps? Two-die block, way back at the line, double skulls. Is he going to spend his final TRR? He does indeed. This time he gets a push out of it. No TRRs remaining for the Cadavers. They take a two-die block against the Saurus. This will be a push as well. Vampire passes Bloodlust roll. That's something we didn't talk about. Vampires have the Bloodlust trait. Before they take their action, they have to roll a d6. On a 1, they fail, and they have to end their action next to a Thrall. They will then feed on the Thrall, and the Thrall could possibly be knocked out or taken off the pitch. If he doesn't end next to a Thrall, he will fly away into the stands and feed off of someone there. The Cadavers just looking to bash down Berserk Circus. They've all but given up the ball. They still have the blitz. They could take it with the werewolf if they want. One thing to point out with the vampire as well is if the vampire scores a TD, if the vampire fails his bloodlust roll and scores a TD, he still has to end next to a thrall. If he does not, he will not score the touchdown. Good dodge by Susan the Ghoul. Susan, you're beautiful. Here it is. Oh no, he's not taking it on the ball carrier. He takes the stand-up 2-die blitz against the Saurus instead. He wanted to try to take out the higher dollar player, and then he gets a tackle zone on the Berserker. This is good positioning. He gets himself in front of the ball carrier. He has the strength advantage, which means the ball carrier is not going to block back, and the ball carrier has to dodge at least once if he wants to get out of the tackle zone, and if he wants to make it a positive dodge, it has to be backward. Wow, it's only turn 3. Berserk Circus knocking on the end zone's door. They are in scoring position with some GFIs. Hank the Ranger says the ball carrier could blitz. He could. He can get an assist against the werewolf, make it a 2-die blitz, and then try to score. And there's that assist. The number 2 Amazon Blitzer comes in for the assist. Is the Berserker going to take the blitz? Moving lots of players in for the assist. Buffy says, does he have a player that might be better for the blitz? It depends if he wants to frenzy or not. He could blitz with the blitzer. The Ranger says, can Pips blitz? Can Pips blitz? Can Pips blitz? He could, but he's not going to. 47 seconds left in turn number 3. Blitz still on the table. Here it is. He's going to take it with the Amazon. He doesn't want to frenzy. Clean hit. He'll push him off to the side. He will not follow up. And he gets a KO on the werewolf. My goodness. Berserk Circus getting that player advantage. That's what I think they needed to do. They still have the TRR on the GFI. I think they're probably going to score here. Here it is. 1-0. Berserk Circus takes the lead. Well done. Aspen Weaver says, call PETA. We'll see if the Cadavers get any of these players back. I can't remember how many are knocked out. 2, I think? Nope, 1 injury. It's just the werewolf, and he's going to stay knocked out. Hank the Ranger says, good TD. I would have liked to see Pip score, but whatever. Now the Cadavers are going to get a second shot on offense here. We'll see if anything changes for Berserk Circus with their defensive formation. As we were talking about before, if they're going to go with a 3-man line, this is pretty good because it having these 2 linebackers here prevents someone coming around the end for an assist. This player will prevent the assist, but he has so much strength on this line. I don't know if the Cadavers want to go toe-to-toe with this. Looks like he does. He's going to bring in the Flesh Golem, both Flesh Golems, and the Tomb Guardian. So now it's strength for strength on the line now. He's going to bring in Susan. Man, my audio's all messed up. He's going to bring in Susan for the assist. He's going to try to block down this line. Sorry about the game audio there. It's it was at the wrong volume. We've corrected it now. Here's the kickoff. Brilliant coaching. Both teams get an extra TRR. The Cadavers really needed that. Decent kick by Berserk Circus, and now the Cadavers have 5 turns left to try to get on the board here. 2 die block at the line. This will be a good hit against the Saurus. Now he's going to take the block against the right defensive tackle here. No, he's going to take it against the Tame Bear. Fair enough. Good hit against the Bear. Gets a stun. He's going to get a 2 die block against the Saurus. This will be a push. And now the 2 ghouls that came in for the assist, they are free. We'll see what the Cadavers want to do now. They might want to set up a cage first before picking up the ball. Nope, they're just going to pick it up. Fair enough. Vampire successfully picked it up this time. He'll move forward. How will the Cadavers protect the ball carrier? Thrall comes in on the the front left corner of the cage. Second Thrall to the back left corner. Cliffy said, I miss it. What's the player count for the Cadavers now? The Cadavers have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players. So it's 9v11 on the pitch. 2-man player advantage for Berserk Circus. 3 Thralls on this would-be cage. Turn 4. Final turn of the first quarter for to Berserk Circus. What do they want to do? Do they want to take some blocks? They can do exactly what the Cadavers did. "30 seconds have passed. Berserk Circus, considering how they want to set up their formation, what do they want to do on the line? And then do they want to spread out in the wide zones or not? So far, they're giving up the sidelines. That may or may not be a threat. Pips Pippi playing safety. The number 4 Berserker in the center linebacker position. Tackle zone on Susan the Ghoul with the number 9 thrower. If that thrower is taken off the pitch, she only has an AV of 7. If she's taken off the pitch, Berserk Circus will lose a TRR. Wow. Good block. Oh, whoa, no, Susan! Susan, no! Susan, you have a family at home. Ah, she died so young. So young. 3-man player advantage for Berserk Circus. We talked about this in the pregame. I think this is exactly what Berserk Circus wants to do here. They've been going hard on these blocks against these AV7 players. It's been working out. They've got the player advantage, and I think that's where they want to be. Good block by the number 13 Saurus against El Guapo the Sad. Stand firm was used, so he'll stay put. Nobody will come in to get a cheeky assist on the Tomb Guard, or a cheeky blitz on the Tomb Guardian. The number 5 lineman ties up the number 2 Ghoul, Brandon. Just Brandon. 10 seconds to play in the first quarter. You're not sure why El Guapo is sad? Look at him. He's lying on his back in the rain. He doesn't want to be here. He never wanted to play Blood Bowl. He's just trying to impress his father. Second quarter begins. The Cadavers, what to do? Thrall moves ahead to get a 2-die block on the number 5 lineman. Vampire moves ahead. Looks like he's going to be caging up at center pitch. SP Beaver says, that's not a cage. It may be shortly. We'll see. Hank the Ranger says, if he wasn't undead, he could drown in his current state. Will somebody help El Guapo the Sad, please? 1-die block skulls. He's going to spend the TRR. He gets the push. He'll stay put. Oh no, he's going to follow up. Wow, interesting choice. All right. And now he's going to blitz with the Flesh Golem. He's not sad any longer. Good blitz. And he followed up. Wow. Fills in the hole with the number 2 ghoul. Front right corner is exposed. Wow, another death. Holy moly. Finally, the Cadavers get something going here. Is the Apothecary going to be used? Yes, the Apothecary is used. And he's still dead. Sorry. Sorry, buddy. So the Apothecary was used, didn't work out, but regen worked. Sorry, buddy. Now you're playing for the other team. Tried to prevent the death, it didn't work, and so now the Cadavers pick up the player as a zombie for them. And you know what? That works out. That can replace one of the dead players. Turn 5 for Berserk Circus. What to do? If you're an undead team and you kill a player with a strength of 3 or less, I think it is, then they'll come back onto your team as a zombie. One minute to play in turn 5. Not much has happened yet. Professor Jefferson, he's stood up. 2-die block, clean hit against the number 2 ghoul. Trying to increase this player advantage. And he did just that. Well done. Brandon off the pitch. Just 7 players on the pitch for the Cadavers. They are an aptly named team tonight. .30 seconds to play. Blitz still on the table. Number 9 lineman moves in for the assist. 2-die block against the Tomb Guardian. Tomb Guardian's going to get knocked down. A 10 or higher will take Angelsoft off the pitch. Well, rather, it'll break armor. Clivia says, Nuffle wills it! Applying some pressure to the back of this cage. with the number 9 thrower, Mango Dare. Blitz. This is going to be a blitz on the back left corner of the cage. This is only going to result in a push. Good blitz effort. Is he going to follow up is the question. Yes, he does. A couple players left to do something with. Number 7 blitzer is going to move forward, get a tackle zone on the flesh golem, and that'll be it. Turn 6 for the Cadavers. Just 3 turns left to try to get on the board. What a gruesome game this has been so far. The Cadavers have lost so many players. They have just 7 left on the pitch. The defense is everywhere. Can they break someone out and try to score? Stand up blitz with the Tomb Guardian. This will be a good hit against the number 13 Saurus. Tomb Guardian follows up. He's now tying up the bear and the Saurus. Brewski Skull Eater, the number 12 Saurus. Two-die block. This will be a clean hit against the number 2 Blitzer. The Blitzer does have sidestep. Sidestep means typically when you get blocked, you get pushed in one of the 3 spaces directly behind you. So the Flesh Golem blocked the Blitzer, so it would have been a push to one of these 3 spaces. Sidestep lets the blocked player decide where they're going to go. And not only that, they don't have to be pushed directly back. They can be pushed to the side. They can even be pushed forward. Sidestep's a fantastic skill. SP Beaver says sidestep is the worst. Fantastic if you have it. The worst if it's used against you. Two-die block results in a push by the number 3 Flesh Golem. El Guapo, the little less sad in the right wide zone. 43 seconds left. I don't know how he defends the ball carrier. I don't know what he does. Good dodge by the vampire. Might try to dodge with the thrall and set up. No, he's going to leave it just like that. Turn 6 back to Berserk Circus. Hank the Ranger says, Pip scores or we riot. Stand up by the number 2 Blitzer. Hippolyte. A little bit of a chess match going on here. Berserk Circus, they can definitely afford to get aggressive. They just need to be a little careful not to open up a hole and then have 1 or maybe 2 dodges allow the Cadavers to break free and score. Two-die block is going to result in a push against the number 7 Tomb Guardian by the number 12 Saurus Brewski Skull Eater. Oh, wow. He's just, oh, he spent the TRR. He wanted to get the knockdown. Well done. Spent the TRR, gets the knockdown on the Tomb Guardian, but now no TRR left for the turn. You can only spend 1 team reroll in a turn, and so now he needs to be careful with what he decides to do for the rest of this turn. Blitz with the bear. Two-die blitz on the number 9 Thrall. This will be a push. Contest winner number 1. Congratulations to him. The Tame Bear now with a tackle zone. Professor Jefferson with a tackle zone on Disco Dan Van Dusseldorf. Two tackle zones on the ball carrier. Pips, Pippy. He's trying to get into this little scrum. One die block with the Blitzer. Good block against the Flesh Golem. He's going to stand firm. One die block over in the right wide zone. Number 11 Thrall. He's going to be knocked down. He has the friend skill. The fend skill. Oh, he's not knocked down. He's pushed. That's not so bad for Berserk Circus, really. Logdar hawks in the wise. He shifts one space over to the right. He's currently playing safety. 3 tackle zones. That's the key tackle zone to get on the Vampire. The Vampire would have had a positive dodge otherwise. Two turns left for the Cadavers. They have to be in scoring position at the end of this turn if they have any hope of tying the game before the half. Wow, gets an injury on a Hippolyte. The Apothecary was spent, so she will be off the pitch. Well done. Seven v 9, I believe. Blitz with the Flesh Golem is going to be a push result. This was against Pips. How dare you, sir? How dare you blitz Pips Pippy himself? Two die block with the Vampire. This will be a dodge push. So the Vampire is going to be staying put. Not going to be... Oh, no, he's going to follow up. Wow, what is the play? Two die block against the thrower. This will be a clean hit. I think this is it. I don't think he scores unless... Yeah, that's it. So the Cadavers not going to be able to score this half. SB Beaver says, can Pips score? No, Pips can't score. How fast do you think Pips is? Yes, Pips. Lots of people can score for the for Berserk Circus on turn 8. SB Beaver says only Pips matters, though. Nine v 7 on the pitch. 2-man player advantage for Berserk Circus. 2 die block. This will be a push against the number 9 Thrall, unless he spends the TRR. He does not. $50 seconds left in turn 7. Takes a 1 die block with the Blitzer against the Flesh Golem. Frees up the lineman. And there's that boneheaded. The bear fails his boneheaded roll. He is not going to spend a TRR because he is also a loner. Boneheaded players they have to roll a d6 before they go. On a 1, they lose their action and their tackle zones until they pass a subsequent boneheaded roll on a later turn. This is often paired with the loner skill, as is the case here with the Tame Bear, which means if they want to spend a TRR, then they have to roll again, and it's a 50-50 shot whether they even get to use the TRR, but the TRR would be spent regardless. One die block by Pips Pippi against the number 11 Thrall. Good hit, but Fend is going to prevent Pips from following up to set up for a Surf. Two die block against the number 12 Saurus. This will be a push. I'm sorry, I guess the number 4 Flesh Golem, Jeff the plain old human. That would have been a push, but he has the stand firm skill. Final turn for the Cadavers. They're just going to take some blocks. Two die block over on the left hand side by the Flesh Golem. Both standing result. Two die block, this time by the number 9 Thrall. This will be a good hit against the number 8 lineman, Gormbjorn. Remember that Tame Bear does not have any tackle zones right now. Two die blitz by El Guapo the Sad. Clean hit against the blitzer. Doesn't get anything out of it. Two die blitz with the Tomb Guarding. He's desperately trying to even the playing field. It's not working out. I think the Ranger says, can the Amazon thrower score? No. Mango Dare is one space away. Moves the vampire to get the assist on the thrower. Two die block on the thrower. This will not work out. And that'll be it for turn 8 for the Cadavers. Final turn of the first half. What a risky block there against the thrower. Sara stands up. Berserk Circus is going to end up leaving one TRR on the table, but they're going to have one left for this turn. The thrower stands up. Not going to do much unless he wants to try to block down the vampire, maybe even foul. Coming in for the assist on the vampire. Two assists means if another strength 3 player comes on over for the blitz, it's going to be a 2 die blitz. 2 die block back at the line. This will work out against the Flesh Golem. It's going to free up the Berserker for the blitz on the vampire. 2 die blitz. The Berserker has the block skill, has Mighty Blow. Oh no, is he not going to blitz? Wow, not going to blitz with the Berserker. What's the plan? The plan is to blitz with Pips Pippi. 2 die blitz, clean hit against the vampire. And he gets a KO. Well done, Pips. Pips Pippi himself. There it is. Well done. And with another injury, this time with the Tame Bear, the number 9 Thrall, contest winner number 1, he's going to come off the pitch. Wow. That's 5 players left on the pitch for the Cadavers. And that'll be the half. Goodness gracious. Berserk Circus in the lead at halftime, 1-0. We'll see if the Cadavers get anybody back from the KO box. Look at that. Look at this massacre. Wow, they get back both players. Well done. And remember, they do have the zombie playing for them as well. That means 3 players are coming back for the Cadavers. So the Cadavers will be 6, 7, 8. 8 players, 8v11? Yeah, 8v11 for the Cadavers. So the Cadavers are down 3 players. And they're going to need to find a way to get this ball back. And if they want to win, not only do they have to get the ball back now and score, they've got to do it twice and a half. 3-man line, all the big guys on the line. Spreads out the line, covering the wide zones completely. Solid screen across center pitch. 1 player back, the number 10 Thrall, he is playing inner linebacker here. And now Berserk Circus to set up their offense. 4-man line on the offense. They can block down, can they block down the line? They can block down the line if they want to put their Sarses on the line. Hank the Ranger says, "Get that fake skink off the pitch. No one cares about him." Lifey says, "Is there a Pips imposter?" There is. We saw him in the last game. Scoops McAdoo himself. He's going to be rooting from the sidelines. Looks like Berserk Circus not going to decide to try to block down this line. Instead, they're going to put 2 players in either wide zone right on the line. They're going to have to be careful of the kickoff result table. Remember, the Cadavers have the fame advantage. Going toe-to-toe on the line right now. It's a 1-die block apiece, except over on the left-hand side of the line. That's 4v3 in strength. It's an uphill block currently for Berserk Circus. SPB wants a riot. A riot that injures the player that's off the pitch. Here's the kickoff. High kick. Berserk Circus gets to try to pick up this ball for free and fails. Rainy weather will get you. Second half begins. Berserk Circus has another opportunity on offense. 2-die block against the werewolf. Good hit against the werewolf. This is over in the left wide zone. Pushes the werewolf off toward the sideline. Wow, takes the risky 1-die block over on the right-hand side of the line. Not terribly risky as he has the block skill, but risky nonetheless. Now he's going to get a 2-die block against the vampire. Gonna blitz the vampire. Failed the GFI. He's going to spend the TRR. Interesting decision here. He wants to try to surf this vampire. He's going to get a push. Frenzy follow-up. Here we go. That's going to work out, but he's not going to get the surf. Clever play. Clever play. used the Berserker. He GFI'd because he wanted to get the Frenzy to try to surf the Vampire. Didn't work out due to the both down result. However, the Berserker does have the block skill, so he gets the good block, but on a both down result, you don't put... failed pickup. On a both down result, you don't push your opponent on the block. Turn 9 for the Cadavers. Oh, what to do? Looks like they're going to get a 2-die block against the Blitzer. The number 7 Amazon Blitzer. Clean hit. Gets a stun out of it. He was looking for more. He did the stand-up Blitz. Blitz is now off the table. Guillermo de la Cruz, formerly of Berserk Circus, now playing for the Cadavers. He is going to tie up the number 5 lineman. 2-die block on the left-hand side of the line. This will be a push result. Everything else on the line is a 1-die block. Is he going to take it? He might take it with Jeff the Plain Old Human with the block skill. Yes, he does. And that'll work out. Due precisely to the block skill. When you have a both down result, the block skill negates that. So you don't go down if you have the block skill. Took the 1-die block at center, spent the TRR, got the clean hit after the reroll, and gets a KO on Professor Jefferson. Professor Jefferson off the pitch. Cadavers trying to level the playing field. They stand up the Vampire. They get him to safety with 2 dodges, but he's still on the sideline. He's got to move somewhere else. He's going to move him back to tie up the Berserker. Turn 10 for Berserk Circus. 10v8 on the pitch. 2-man player advantage. Number 8 lineman, Bjorn. He moves forward to tie up the Tomb Guardian. So the Tomb Guardian's going to get a 2-die block back, but with only an AG of 1, that Tomb Guardian's going nowhere. All he's going to do is block perhaps Blitz. Hank the Ranger says, make an opening and send Pips downfield for glory. Under a minute to play in turn 10 for Berserk Circus. Pips moves towards the ball. Mango Dare to pick up. Is it going to happen now, or is he going to take some blocks first? I imagine he wants to take these blocks. There it is. 2-die block in the right wide zone. This will be a clean hit, but Fend is going to prevent the follow-up. Punch to the Thrall's face. That is a Viking punch. That is a Norse punch. That's a Thor punch. Blitz with the Saurus. Is going to blitz the Vampire. Clean hit on the Vampire. And now he's set up a surf against the Vampire. Where's the Berserker going to go? Is the Berserker maybe going to go here? If he wants to focus on the Vampire, this might be the place to move him. Nope, he says, my work here is done. I'm going to pull back to set up for a faux cage. Or maybe even a real cage. We'll see. Failed pickup. He's going to spend the TRR. 75% on the pickup. Impossible to pick. Wow! So he failed the pickup, but Pips was there to collect. Turn 10, back to the Cadavers. Stand up blitz by the vampire against the Saurus. 2-die blitz, clean hit. Looking for vengeance. Good hit, didn't get much out of it. Is he going to move the vampire? Cleffy says Pips sees other players failing and knows he has to step in now and take over. 2-die block back at center pitch. This will be a push. Another 2-die block. This is over on the left-hand side of the line. This will be a clean hit. Well done. Yeah, Mango Dare's the leader, or has the leader skill, rather, but I think Pips is the true leader. The Cadavers just trying to maul Berserk Circus, but really, they've got to be going after this ball. I'm not sure how they do it, but... Turn 11 for Berserk Circus. Lots of down players for Berserk Circus. That means a lot of players are effectively out of play. They can stand up, they could dodge if they want to. I doubt they want to. Not these AG1 players. Or they could take a blitz. But they can't do much of anything else. Pips is stunty. He could run right through here, probably no problem. Saurus stands up in the right wide zone. No blitz yet. All the down players have been stood up. Berserk Circus has enough players for a cage. It's going to require a dodge. Unless he wants the cage up, say, here. He could do that for free. But we'll see what he decides to do. .42 seconds left for Berserk Circus. .30 seconds left. 1 TRR still available for the turn. Trying to decide what he wants to do here, where he wants to go. Moves Pips right up to center pitch. Pips just in the right wide zone, right at the center line. Is this where the cage is going to be? Is he going to use the lineman maybe to go here? No, he's going to move Pips back a space. 3 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get players back here in time. Oh, he did. Well done. Just barely got that protection in on Pips Pippy. Turn 11 for the Cadavers. If they want to win, they need to get after this ball ASAP. If they're playing for the tie, then they have all the time in the world. Good block by Jeff, the plain old human. That's a tackle zone on the ball carrier. 2-die block is going to be a result, a both standing result in the left wide zone. SP Beaver says the cage is for the safety of the defense. 2-die block by El Guapo the Sad. Clean hit against the number 6 lineman. And gets a KO. Well done. One-man player advantage now for Berserk Circus. 2-die block back at center pitch. Clean hit against the number 8 lineman. And another death. What a killer game this has been. Wow. All tied up on the pitch as far as I'm aware. 8 v 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Wow. What a game. What a nasty, brutal game this has been. 3 deaths. 3 deaths this game. Wow. Turn 12 for Berserk Circus. Rainy, bloody game. This game will be known as Red Monday. Berserk Circus looking to move this ball down pitch. There's a tackle zone on the ball carrier right now. However, he does have the dodge skill and he is stunty. Dodge skill means he gets a free reroll on a dodge. Stunty means if he wants to say dodge this way for whatever reason, he doesn't have to work. It's not a negative dodge for him. So all dodges are positive for Pips Pippi. Two-die block in the right wide zone. It's going to be a push against the number 11 Thrall. Oh, is he considering a TRR? Nope. Gets a push. He won't be able to follow up. I don't know if he wants to anyway. No, he probably wanted to because of the flesh column. Oh, tried to use jump up and failed. Jump up. So he tried to. So jump up means that. So it normally costs 3 MA to stand up. Jump up makes it free, but it also allows you to make a block while prone. Usually, if you're prone, you have to do a blitz if you want to block. Jump up lets you make an AG roll, and if you pass the AG roll, then you get to block instead of blitzing. So he spent the TRR. Frenzied the Vampire pushes him back a space, trying to open up a hole here. Two-die block back at center pitch. This will be a push against Jeff the Plain Old Human, but he has stand firm, so he's going nowhere. Tried to free up the ball carrier. Didn't work out. Spent the TRR on the stand-up block, so he still has the blitz. Cleffy says he could blitz the Vampire to surf. He could. He could try blitzing with the number 3 lineman and then do something here. But he only has 6 seconds left. Gonna hand off to the lineman. Failed handoff. And now the Cadavers have an opportunity. Currently 2 Berserk Circus tackle zones on this ball, and it's raining. Two-die block back over the left wide zone. Again, a both standing result against the Norse lineman and the werewolf. Two-die block against the number 7 blitzer, the Amazon blitzer. This will be a push result. Is he going to follow up? He is. He's going to keep this little scrum going in the left wide zone. Follow-up two-die block. This will be a dodge push. This is Guillermo de la Cruz, formerly of Berserk Circus. He is now trying to take some of his fellow players off the pitch. What's the plan for the Cadavers? What's the play? What do you do? Blitz with the Thrall. He wants to free up the Vampire. He gets only a push. That's not what he wants at all. Is he going to take the Blitz with the... Oh no, he took the Blitz with the Thrall. So now there are 3 tackle zones for the Vampire. He's just going to take a block instead. Very good stun. What do you do now? 2-die block with the Flesh Golem, perhaps? Yes, indeed. 2-die block with the Flesh Golem is going to be a clean hit against the number 12 Saurus Brusky Skull. Oh no! He took it against Pippi! Pips Pippi! What? How dare you! Just a dodge push. Under a minute to play in turn 12. Final turn of the 3rd quarter. The Cadavers running out of time. They move Angelsoft, the Tomb Guardian, to tie up both Pips and Mango Dare, the number 9 thrower. So here's where Stunty could work in Pip's favor. He could dodge here for a positive dodge and then a positive dodge if he wanted to. Berserk Circus with no team rerolls remaining for the game. The Circus City Cadavers with 2. If Berserk Circus wins tonight, they will end their competition in 5th place. Cliffy says, are there any 2-die blocks for Berserk Circus? I don't think so. He's going to take a 1-die block. He has to spend the... He doesn't spend the TR... Oh, he doesn't have a TRR. 1-die block, skull result. That's a turnover. And now the Cadavers can try to come after this ball. El Guapo the Sad ties up the number 5 lineman. 2-die block. He's going to try to surf this lineman. Not going to work out due to the knockdown. Gets a stun out of it as well. Two-die block by Jeff the Plain Old Human against the number 12 Stars back at center pitch. This is just a punching match. This is a boxing match. An MMA fight. Claffy says, man, that little slideshow fight has been quite entertaining. Yeah, this is strange to me. There's 5 players that are taken out of the drive effectively over here. Pushes the thrower onto the ball. The thrower doesn't pick up the ball. It goes to the vampire. The vampire can't pick the ball up, and that is scattered toward the end zone. 2-die block with the vampire. He's going to push the thrower. Where do you push the thrower? He's going to push him straight back. Follow up or no? He does not follow up. Two-die block with the number 11 Thrall. Got the assist with the vampire. Doesn't follow up. Pushing people away from the ball. The ground showing just how good they are at holding on to the ball yet again. Two-die blitz Gets a good stun out of it. Well done. Follows up. The number 10 Thrall, hapless victim number 1, follows up, has a tackle zone on Pips. And now, number 4 Berserker stands up for free. Just 3 turns left for Berserk Circus to try to protect this ball to win this game. They can do it in one of 2 ways. They can prevent forward momentum, or they can run the ball down the pitch. They could even try to punt the ball if it wasn't raining. Pips Hippie, there's that stunty dodge. Picks up the ball, tries to pick up the ball, fails the pickup, but it goes into the hands of the thrower. That's going to be a turnover nonetheless. And now the block, the 2-die block on the thrower, clean hit. Where does the ball scatter? Scatters into the hands of the Tomb Guardian. And then, of course, scatters right back out. The thrower stunned. Excellent stun by the Cadavers. 2-die blitz on the Berserker. Another great stun for the Cadavers. Wow. And there's the ball pickup. Time to run this vampire down pitch. Yes, indeed. A Thrall can move with the vampire. Yes. Yes, sir. Now what? Now what? Does he pull the werewolf? Tie up on Pips Pippi. Pips only has a strength of 2. But you know what? I've seen uphill blocks work. Hank the Ranger says I can see Pips taking an uphill block. No, the vampire, the werewolf's not going to be pulled. Instead, he's going to lend the assist for the 2-die block against the number 7 blitzer way off here in the left side zone, wide zone. And that'll be a push. Still really nothing happening over in the left wide zone. They're just kind of having their own little game over here. Wow, another good stun. This time against the number 13 Saurus. These players are all but out of the game. Wow. One die, possibly 2-die block against the vampire. We'll see. If Berserk Circus wants to scurry Pips out of here for the assist, or possibly take the positive dodge to GFIs with the lineman. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. They'd have to go here. It's a 1-die block regardless, I think. And it looks like he's going to take it. 1-die block. Here it comes. It's only going to get a push. He doesn't have the TRR to spend. He'll have to follow up. You know what I think? I think Pips needs to get in front of this vampire. We'll see. We'll see what Dead Fred decides. Lineman over on the left here, just lying on the ground. I would foul that player. Yeah, there's Pips. Look at all those dodges. Oh, he's not going to take the GFI. He's not going to risk it. Vampire's going to have a positive dodge out here if Pips doesn't move. Will Pips be the hero? Just 25 seconds left for Berserk Circus. It looks like they're thinking about it. Hank the Ranger says Pips is the hero. Oh, he's going to leave Pips where he is. Turn 15 for the Cadavers. Positive dodge to score. That's all he needs. He's got the TRR for it. Wow, he's gonna go for the blitz first. Holy moly. He's gonna get a push. Alright. No, he's gonna stall. Tries to block down Pips, but Pips will not go down. Wow. He is out. What is happening? He's out. He's out for blood. He wants to take Pips off the pitch. 2-die block against the number 3 lineman. And gets a KO. Wow. Is there anybody left on the pitch? 2-die block, of course it's a push. Frenzy follow-up. It's gonna be both standing, because it's always both standing over here in the left. Well, he spends the TRR. Still a both standing result. He's gonna try it again, and he's gonna get another push trying to surf the number 7 blitzer. Why not foul with the flesh column while you're at it? Nope, he's gonna pull the flesh column, try to get him back into this drive. Alright, Pips. It's your time to blitz. No need to dodge. Just blitz. Can Pips get anything out of this? Pips could dodge blitz to make it a 1-die... No. No. I think it's got to be an uphill block. Pips, the hero. Claffius asks, is it a 3-die uphill for Pips? It is where he is. He could dodge out and blitz. Make it 2. Hank the Ranger says, Pips is strength 2, but strength 10 in our hearts. We believe in you, Pips. We believe in you. Final turn of play for both of these teams. Berserk Circus in the lead, 1-0. Really, the only hope they have is to try to take the block on the Vampire somehow, whether that's a blitz or a block. He's got 50 seconds to decide how best to go after this. Oh, all right. He's going to try to blitz with the Berserker. Pips dodges out for the assist. This will make it a 1-die block with the Berserker. Here we go. He's going to spend... He doesn't have the TRR. Skull result on, fortunately. And this is going to be a tie game, ladies and gentlemen. Turn 16 for the Cadavers. Is he going to try to throw it? What's going on? What is happening? Why don't you... He's going to blitz Pips. Clean hit on Pips. He won't follow up. But Pips stays alive. He's stunned, but he'll stay alive. 1-1 the final. Congratulations to both coaches. Well done. And that'll do it for tonight's game. The Circuit City Cadavers tie Berserk Circus 1-1 here at the Hypnodrome. Susan, the dead ghoul, she is the MVP for the Cadavers. She's the cadaveriest of the Cadavers. 16 armor breaks for the Cadavers. 2 deaths for Berserk Circus. 1 death for the Cadavers. Wow, what a brutal game this was. Ball possession for the ground. Man, that ground really stole the show with the ball. Not a whole lot of movement on the ball. Look at all these blocks. 68 blocks taken by the Cadavers. Wow, SPP. Berserk Circus is going to walk away with 18 SPP. 18 SPP. Where the Cadavers are really only walking away with 9. They get 14 with Susan, but Susan is dead. So that'll do it for tonight. We can take a look at the standings really quick here. So the Cadavers and Berserk Circus are each going to move up 1 point. That's going to move the Cadavers ahead of the Horsemen. And then Berserk Circus will be... no. So the Cadavers will move ahead of the Horsemen. The Cadavers will be in 6th place. The Horsemen will be in 7th. And Berserk Circus will stay in 8th place. There's one more game in Swiss competition. And that will be the final game here in week 6. It's Fire Pants at Vector Victor. That is currently to be determined. I think it's going to be maybe Thursday. It hasn't really been scheduled yet. But one of the coaches has mentioned they're probably going to use an extension. So it's looking like it'll be about Thursday, but it'll be the final streamed game of Swiss. And when the game gets scheduled, you'll, of course, be able to see the schedule here on Twitch and on our Twitter and Facebook accounts, and you can see the commands for those right there on your screen. I hope you guys had a lot of fun tonight. Man, what a brutal game. Congratulations to both coaches. Thanks for coming out. Really well played. Well played game. Super fun to watch. Berserk Circus really took the Cadavers to task. I think they honed in on what they needed to do early, and they did it. They played super, super well. So, you know, Nick Satan, again, he's the league champion, the Season 1 champion. I hope to see both coaches back here for Season 2, back in regular Blood Bowl play when Season 2 kicks off with the Chaos Cup. But thanks for coming out, guys. I hope you had a blast. And we'll see you here for Game 5, the final game of Swiss, before we cut to the semi-finals. Have a good night, guys.